Let me think. Margaret's words caused Dustin to fall into deep thought. Shouldering a nation's fate wasn't a trivial matter. First, one needed to be strong enough to bear it. Second, one needed the awareness and resolve that came with it. Once the fate of a nation was tied to someone, it meant carrying a heavy responsibility. In the past, he could act as he pleased without much concern, but with national destiny on his back, things were different now. Of course, he didn't have many options left. He could either hide in Longhu Mountain and seek the protection of the ultimate Grand Master, or take the risk and directly absorb the nation's fate to break through. Between the two, he would still choose the latter. I can try your plan. But right now, I'm still missing one last dragon source energy. If I want to go through with it, I need to get my hands on that final one, Dustin suddenly said. Only when all 5 dragon source energy were gathered could it be considered a complete national fate. You're right. Margaret nodded. As for the last one, I've already had someone investigate it thoroughly. It's currently in the hands of my third brother, Julius. But where exactly he's hiding it, we haven't been able to find out. Her intelligence network was formidable, but it was impossible to fully infiltrate the royal family. The fact that she managed to trace even a few clues was already impressive. After all, investigating royal family members was highly taboo. If the information got out, it could easily lead to disaster. Julius? Dustin narrowed his eyes slightly. That does make things tricky. Julius was a man both scholarly and martial, shrewd and calculating. On top of that, he had a prestigious identity and strong influence. Trying to retrieve the dragon source energy from someone like him would undoubtedly be difficult. Actually, I do have an idea, but it's risky. And I'll need your help, Margaret suddenly said. Oh? What's your idea? Dustin raised an eyebrow. Julius is extremely greedy. One dragon source energy won't satisfy him. If he wants to ascend the throne, he'll need at least 3 dragon source energy to push his fortune to the limit. I can use that greed to our advantage, through a little trickery, Margaret said with a meaningful smile. Trickery? Dustin looked puzzled. Since Julius wants dragon source energy so badly, why don't we give it to him? We'll use the one in our hands to bait out the one he's hiding, then take them both at once. Margaret's words were bold and shocking. That's actually a pretty clever plan, though like you said, it's risky. Dustin nodded thoughtfully. Margaret's plan was like using a child as bait to lure a wolf. If it succeeded, great. But if it failed, the consequences would be dire. For the dragon source energy, and for the nation's fate, it's a risk worth taking. As long as you cooperate with me, I'm at least 70% confident we can pull this off, Margaret said confidently. Oh? What do you need me to do? Dustin asked. It's simple. I need you to pretend to surrender and offer Julius a dragon source energy as a sign of loyalty to gain his trust. I'll leave a special mark on it. Once the opportunity arises, you retrieve the one you gave him, and if luck is on our side, you can also steal the one he has. She explained. Dragon source energy required a special container for storage, so chances were Julius would keep both strands together. Once Dustin retrieved the original one, he'd have a chance to take the other 2. In short, it was like fishing with bait. Whether the fish took the hook would depend 30% on luck and 70% on skill. After all, sneaking into Julius's mansion was no easy task. Even if he could locate the treasury, whether he could get in and retrieve the essence would depend entirely on Dustin's capability. I understand. Dustin nodded. When do we move? The 2 god kings from the Pantheon gods have already entered the country and will arrive in Stonia soon. You don't have much time. It's best to act tomorrow, Margaret said. Time waits for no one. The sooner Dustin retrieved the last dragon source energy, the better. All right, tomorrow it is. Dustin didn't object. I'll purposely leak some information and let Julius find out you have dragon source energy. That way, he'll approach you on his own. It'll seem more natural, Margaret added. Then her expression turned serious. But you still need to be careful. Julius is extremely paranoid. Earning his trust won't be easy. Once you're inside his mansion, play it by ear. Don't do anything rash. Thanks for the reminder. I'll be careful. Dustin smiled faintly. He had already been inside Julius's estate once. It wasn't unfamiliar to him. Besides, he wasn't going there to fight, just to steal. It wouldn't be a life or death situation. The bigger issue now was, how could he pull off the theft without arousing suspicion? That was something worth thinking about. He'd need a way to clear himself afterward.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the